Hey guys, how's it going? It's Wednesday. Thought we'd cook some dinner. Like we do pretty much every Wednesday. Although that could change. I'm thinking about for a little while here going every other week with cooking and baking. Just to kind of give me a break with things. But I may not. I haven't decided yet, but you know, if it does happen, I'll let you know. Just because there's so much going on between the remodel, work, the bakery, you know, where we've been trying to get stuff done there and get that up and running and more consistent. Shooting videos on top of all that has been it's been quite a challenge. Things have started to slow down a little bit, but we'll see. All the same, but I wanted to throw that out there. You can give your opinion on that, and if you're somebody that also is on YouTube, let me know what you do, what you think. You know, I've been winging this for 2 years now, 2.5 years, 3 years, for a minute at any rate. Excuse me. But that being said, tonight we're gonna do some dinner, and tonight we're gonna do a Monterrey chicken and pierogi casserole. Now this has got a lot of stuff going on, but it's all literally stuff that you probably have in your pantry, in your fridge, or could easily pick up at the grocery store for very little money. As you know, lately we've been trying to do things that are quick, easy. Been doing a lot of Tex-Mex style dishes, and I thought, you know what, we need to change it up. Not because I love Tex-Mex. We eat Tex-Mex on a regular basis around here. It's kind of ridiculous. But every once in a while, it's nice to throw something else in. If this is your first video, hope you get something out of this video. Check out some of my others. And if you're returning, thank you. Maybe you'll consider subscribing. And to my new subscribers, which, man, have we been growing strong, and that is so awesome. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you so much. Every time you hit that like button, subscribe, you share, that puts us out in the algorithm and grows our neighborhood, you know, so we can get more good things going out there. That being said, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Yeah, and I think that's it. You know, comments always welcomed. Just be civil. That's all I ask. You know, it's okay to disagree. Just think before you type. So, anyhow, that being said, let's get on down here to the countertop where we'll start making a little magic. All right, hold on for me 1 second. All right, we are down here at the countertop. As always, recipe written down. That way, in case life goes on. As you can hear, the oven's going off. I went ahead, we got our oven preheated to 375 degrees Fahrenheit, which is like 190 degrees Celsius. And after we get that preheated up, I went ahead and I grabbed a 9x13 casserole dish, and I went ahead and sprayed it. Since we're using cheese, we don't want that cheese to stick. So we got that sprayed, got the oven going. The only other thing you'll need is a bowl. And I mean, you may not need a bowl this big, but I find that normally I get a bowl out I think it's going to be big enough, and it's not. So tonight we're going to go with the biggest bowl I have in the arsenal, which is like this giant 14 quart. Yeah, it's a behemoth. It's the extra large bowl that my good friend Kristen gave to me. She is an absolutely wonderful person. So, I mean, I know it looks like we're about to make Christmas dinner here, but we're not. And like I said, everything here, pretty basic. Either have it in your pantry or easily get it at the grocery store. So the first thing we're going to do, as the lollygag, after we preheat our oven and get our pan sprayed, we are going to whisk together some things. So the first thing I've got here is I've got two 10-ounce, 10.5-ounce cans of cream of chicken, and we're going to put those in. That is the funniest thing ever when you get that like suction sound. I found that funny as a kid. I still find it funny as a kid because, let's be honest, you know, even when you get older, you're still kind of a kid at heart. You know, I mean, you may not do some of the dumb stuff you did when you were a kid, but you're still a kid at heart. So we get our two things of cream of chicken in here, just like this. This dish does not take long at all to put together. And like I said, there's a few options that we can run with this. Maybe if I can get all the cream of chicken out. Sounds like my dog is about to keel over there. My dog's name is Sam, if you're new. To this, I'm going to add 16 ounces of sour cream, 1 container of sour cream pretty much, and check that out. It says Smith's on it. Ain't that so cool? No relation, not sponsored, but I just thought it was really cool that it said Smith's on it, because by golly, that's our last name. And we're just going to add the whole 16-ounce container to it, which, I mean, in my mind is just so much sour cream, but such is life. And then we are going to add half a teaspoon of garlic powder. Is that not the coolest thing in the world? I mean, I've had those for a while, but the fact that it says Mr. Smith's Kitchen on it is just so cool. Chris got me those a few years back for my birthday. And then we're going to add a half a teaspoon of garlic powder, half a teaspoon of onion powder. And then it says salt and pepper to taste. So to me, that's about a half a teaspoon. The cream of chicken's got salt in it. I guarantee it. The sour cream's probably got a little bit of salt in it, but not much. It's probably part of the cooking process. Some of the ingredients just have a fair amount of salt, so I think a half a teaspoon in our case is good. So now that we got that in there, get my spatula out of there, and we're just going to take that and we are going to whisk this together real quick to make sure we get it all, you know, incorporated well. Alright, we got that whisked up, and I know you're thinking to yourself, that's very little product for such a big bowl, and you're probably right, but there's a lot more to go into this. Alright, so now that we've got that in there, the next thing we need to put into this is some Monterey Jack cheese. This recipe calls for 1.5 cups of Monterey Jack cheese shredded. I shred my own. I take issue with pre-shredded cheese. That's just my personal opinion. They spray it with a food grade anti-caking agent, which keeps it from clumping together. I just find that weird. I mean, I work in a pizza shop that uses cheese like that every day, but if I don't have to buy it, I don't. So, our 1.5 cups, I'm going to take 1 cup of that, and that's going to be 1 liberal cup, probably, because I probably got closer to 2.5 cups in here, and I'm going to put that in there. And then, we are going to throw in 1 10-ounce package of frozen spinach that's been thawed and dried. Okay, so I mean it's still damp, but you don't want it to be sitting in its own freezer water, so to speak. And this is spinach we grew this year out in the garden, which I just think is awesome. So we'll go ahead and get that in there. And then we are going to add something that wasn't in the original recipe, but I'm going to add it anyhow, and that's mushrooms. And we jar our own mushrooms if we can find fresh ones on sale, buy them in bulk at a good price. And I'm going to add 8 ounces. This is a 16-ounce jar, so I'm going to add about half of it in there. Now you can use fresh mushrooms. We have these. Why not? Mushrooms are so easy to can yourself, and if you can find them in bulk or find them when they're like on manager special, it's so much cheaper than even buying them in a jar. So after we get our spinach and our mushrooms in there, the next thing we're going to add is I've got some French fried onions. Now these are French's. You use whatever you have available to you. These are just what my store carries. And we're going to use the entire container, but we're only going to put half of it. It's a 6-ounce container. We're only going to put 3 ounces of it, or half the container, in here. The rest of it we're going to put on top, just like green bean casserole at Christmas time, which is pretty awesome. And then what we're going to do real quick, I'm actually going to fold this all together right quick, just so we can stay ahead of the game instead of dumping everything in at once. Because we've only got a couple more things to put in this. And that, there is that. And I mean, there's other things we could have added to this. We could have put fresh onion in here. We could have put a bell pepper in, or, you know, I mean, there's really kind of just a never-ending plethora of things you could put in. Like I added the mushrooms. Didn't necessarily have to add those, but I did. So the next thing we're going to add to this is 4 cups of chicken, cubed, shredded, however you like to do it. Now, you can buy rotisserie chicken. That's what I do a lot of the times. I mean, you've seen it if you watched any of my videos involving chicken. But this time around, I went ahead and just fried it up in a cast iron skillet. Well, I grilled it up in a cast iron skillet, and I did it enough that, you know, I got those lovely charred marks on there. That way we have that flavor. But it's 4 cups worth of chicken, which would be roughly 2 rotisserie chickens. Well, for that price, you could buy 6 cups of chicken breast and grill them up. And like I said, I did mine outside. That way I didn't even have to heat up the kitchen right away. So we're gonna get that in there. And then the very last thing we have to add into this is some pierogies, right? Now, if you don't know what a pierogi is, it's just simply a pastry that has different stuffings in it. These particular ones have garlic and potato. But they make ones with cheddar, bacon and cheddar, 4 cheese. There's just such a variety that you could use with this. But I thought with it being a Monterrey chicken casserole, we didn't want to put a different kind of cheese in there. Now, that being said, you could easily go get some cheddar cheese instead of the Monterey Jack, and use the ones with cheddar and potato in them. They're always got potato in them, but yeah, they normally got a cheese. These ones don't. They have a garlic. So we're gonna go ahead and get these in there, and that's two of the boxes of them. 2 16-ounce boxes, I believe. Yeah, 2 16-ounce boxes. And let's go ahead and get this in there real quick. This is why I got the big bowl out. Now, let's say you don't have a ginormous bowl to mix this in. That's all right. What you could do instead, I was thinking about this earlier, is once you get the chicken in there and you're down to the pierogies, you can simply line the pierogies in the bottom of your 9x13, just lay some flat on there, put half the mixture in, another like a lasagna. You would do pierogi, a layer of the filling, pierogi, another layer of the filling, and be done with it. I'm just lucky enough I have a big old box, or a big old bowl, to put these in. So we got, wow, I just got some of that dressing on my hand, and that's really good. I don't mind saying it. So we'll get this mixed up. After I get this mixed up, I'm gonna get some stuff cleaned up, and when I come back, we can move forward. Okay, got everything cleaned up and straightened up and thrown in the sink. That way I can wash it while this is cooking. One option I did forget to mention, we talked about you could add mushrooms or green peppers or onions or a vegetable that you like to this. But one thing I didn't mention was the pierogies. Now, with the pierogies, you can use them straight from the freezer. Yeah, they even mentioned use them straight from the freezer. But there was an option to fry them and get a little brown to them, so that's what I did. After I grilled my chicken with the bits and stuff that were in the pan, I just added a little more vegetable oil to the pan, and I fried those up so that way they're crisp on the outside. I wasn't originally going to do that, and Chris said that she really likes it when our pierogies are crisp, because that's how we usually have them, is just as pierogies. And I'm like, you know what, you're right. So I went ahead and fried them up, but we just got to get it in the pan. Alright, we got her in the pan. Got her evened out as possible. I was really worried there for a second that we weren't even going to get it all in the pan. But we got it all in the pan. We covered the couple of differences I did to the recipe. And now we only have like 2 things left to put on. But there's what we look like so far. I know it looks like a colossal white, just bleh, but I think it's going to be fabulous. personally. So we're gonna take our other half-ish cup of Monterey Jack cheese. And like I said, you can tailor this with different types of cheeses. I could see a good Colby Jack, or a pepper jack, or I mean just tons of different, or a mixture of cheeses, you know, and cheese pierogies. Oh, so many different ways. But we get our cheese on there, and then we're just going to take the rest of our fried onions, French fried onions here, and put those on the top. Our 3 ounces that are left, or half a container. We'll go ahead and get those on the top, spread them out real quick, and then I'll put this in the oven and we can talk about how long to cook it for. There is that. Look at that, so quick. I think I spent more time introducing myself to the new people and talking about what we were going to do than actually doing it. Get that in here. There is that timer. You'd think after all this time I'd know. Alright, so how long to bake this for? The original recipe, and this is where it's going to vary a little bit, at least for me and for you if you do it this way. The original recipe is based on those pierogies being frozen, and it does 35 to 45 minutes. The other thing it says to look for in the recipe is it should be bubbling. We're not covering it, so we don't have to worry about taking the foil off and, you know, letting it bake any longer. We're just, in this case, I am just looking for it to bubble. All the main ingredients are cooked already. You know, the mushrooms are cooked, the chicken is cooked, the pierogies are cooked. They're cold because they've been sitting around while I got things done, but they're cooked. So we're kind of just re-warming up and melting the cheese. So if you do it this way, where you have fried the pierogies first to give them that crisp outer shell, and you're just the pierogies. Now I'm thinking about it. I'm gonna say maybe 25 minutes to 30, but I'll let you know when I come back. So for certain, because I'm just going to look for it to be bubbling and maybe a little brown on top from the cheese we put on there. So anyhow, when I come back, I will have taken it out of the oven. I'll tell you what times I did on mine, and that way we can look at it and serve up some. All right, I'll see you here in just one moment. Okay, we are good to go out of the oven. That did take less time than I even thought it would. I put it in for 25 minutes. And it ended up only taking 20. So now you know, if you pre-cook your pierogies, and then of course your chicken's already cooked, but there we are right there, looking tender and delicious, and the crowd goes wild. It smells fantastic, it looks fantastic. So now all we got to do is give it a try, right? So let me back you up there a little bit so you're, it's not right up in your face, because that's kind of rude. But yeah, so it took no time at all. 20 minutes versus the 35 to 45 if you do the pierogies first in that endeavor. And it was boiling. It had, it's got that nice crispy look. The cheese has turned golden. I mean, you can't really beat the overall presentation of it. I think it looks fantastic. Now we're having this tonight with just some simple bread and some green beans, so that we picked from the garden and had processed earlier, and that way, quick, easy, no fuss, no muss. Now you could side this with a lot of different things, but I think a vegetable would be best, maybe with a dinner roll or something like that to go with it. But there we are. That would be our finished product, and it does look ooey gooey cheesy. For sure. And I let this sit for about 10 minutes, just like always. We don't ever want to try to eat something coming straight out of the fridge, out of the oven. That way it doesn't, melt our face off in the process. That's never cool. So anytime you have anything in the oven or on the stovetop for that matter, and it's blazing hot. Remember, I mean, like your stovetop gets to 500 degrees, you know, the pan can, if you have it on, especially like medium high, like stir fry, things like that. Your oven, it's been sitting in there for, you know, well in this case 20 minutes at 375, it was bubbling, so that means it was hot. So you want to let your proteins cool. But enough of running my yip. Let's see what this tastes like. We'll get some of that chicken and the spinach and the pierogi and the sauce. Ooh, yeah. That's really, really good. I think the mushrooms were a nice addition. That sauce, for basically just being salt and pepper, cream of chicken, and sour cream with a little garlic, little onion powder, is quite delicious. The spinach is flavorful. It blends well with the pierogies. Yeah, there ain't nothing wrong with that dish. That's a crowd pleaser. I know everybody here is going to like it. I know everybody here is starving. But give this a try. Let me know if you do. Hands down. I like it. There ain't nothing wrong with that. That sauce is creamy. It's thick. And it'll stay on your plate. But not too thick. The crunchiness of the onions, the softness of the pierogi, you know, on the inside, and then you got that added flavor from where I pan fried it, and that chicken with the sear on it. Yeah, that's a winning combination right there. It's got every flavor profile you could possibly think of other than sweet, which it doesn't need, but it's not horribly savory. It's got every texture. It's got creamy, it's got smooth, it's got crunchy, it's got crisp. It's there. So that being said, try this. Let me know if you do. You can either leave me a comment down below, or find us on Facebook, Mr. Smith's Kitchen, and leave me a comment there. If you do something similar to this, let us know. I don't think you'll be disappointed. Matter of fact, I know you're not going to be disappointed with this. Now, leftovers you can keep in the fridge. Just put it in an airtight container. In this case, ours had a lid, so I just put a lid on it when we're done, throw it in the fridge, and be done with it for the night. Because that's going to be a couple meals right there. I would almost lay odds. And I'm down with that. I can take that with me tomorrow for lunch. Yeah, hands down. So speaking of tomorrow, dessert. I don't know. I still have about 15 things I would like to try. So it'll be one of them at any rate. Now, that being said, if there's ever anything that you would like me to make here, or something you would like to see made, or maybe you have a recipe that you would like to share, let me know. Leave me a comment down below. Find me on Messenger, Facebook, Instagram. I'm on pretty much everything other than Snapchat and Twitter, and I probably never will be. But you can find me in any of those places. Like I said, just leave me a comment down below and I'll look up a recipe. So that being said, until tomorrow for dessert, I love you. I love you very much. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Tell somebody else you love them and that you love them very much. They may need to hear it. If nothing else, it's going to make them smile and make their day better. It's going to make you feel better to tell them. And if you make some of this Monterrey chicken and pierogi casserole, man, they are going to feel the love, and it's going to lead to hours of conversation. I guarantee it. So, till tomorrow for dessert, I love you. I'll see you then. Talk to you later. All right? Bye-bye.